Dear students, this is Alok sir. Hope you all are fine and enjoying your studies. In this part of the video, I will explain pressure, and this is the last part of the chapter force and pressure. In previous two videos, I have explained force and types of force. So let us start. Pressure is what? Before explaining pressure, you must have to understand what is thrust. Thrust is a force acting perpendicularly on a surface area. I have drawn a picture here. This is a table and a force acting perpendicularly to the surface of the table. So the effect of force can be observed in any point. So thrust is what? This is the perpendicular force acting over an area. But the pressure is what? Pressure is also a thrust, and it is acting over a unit area. So thrust acts perpendicularly on the surface area, and pressure is the force acting on unit area. This is the difference. So when force is applied perpendicular direction to a given area, we call it thrust, and when thrust acting on unit area, this is called pressure. So mathematically, pressure equals to thrust by area of contact. Now see, in this picture I have drawn three pictures, and I have taken three different objects, and weight of the objects are same. So force applied on the object by the object on a wooden block are same, means force. Three wooden blocks I have taken. One is A, B and C. Three wooden blocks are there, and three objects are taken. Weight of these three objects are same, and when the objects are placed on wooden blocks by different contact area, then what will be the maximum pressure and what will be the minimum pressure? In situation A, we are seeing that the contact area is large, so pressure will be large. In second situation, contact area is small, pressure will be more. And in third situation, contact area is very small, so pressure in this situation will be largest. Means when contact area is less for the same force, pressure will be larger, and when contact area is more for the same force, pressure will be smaller. So pressure can be increased or decreased by varying contact area. When contact area is less, pressure will be more. When contact area is more, pressure will be less for the same force. So from this analogy, it follows that pressure due to given force would vary according to the area over the force is acting. Therefore, we can increase or decrease the pressure without any change in force. So by changing area of contact over which the force acts, means if we vary area of contact, then we can increase or decrease the pressure. Now what are the applications? See, the applications are here. Buses and trucks usually have double wheel on their rear side. It means double wheel means larger area, so it exerts less pressure. High-rise building and dams have wide base. Wide base means larger area, so it exerts less pressure. Tanks and bulldozer are fitted with caterpillar tracks rather than wheels. It also for exerting less pressure. Railway tracks are laid on large wooden or iron slipper. Why it is also for exerting less pressure. So this is the pressure and application of the pressure. Now sometime we need to decrease area for where more pressure is required, we have to decrease area. To see the application, time we have to increase the pressure, so we must have to decrease the area. See the situations. It is easier to cut with a sharp knife than with a blunt knife. Blunt knife has larger area, so it is difficult to cut with a blunt knife, while sharp knife has smaller area, so pressure is increased, so it is easy to cut with sharp knife. nails or pins and spikes have pointed ends so that they can be easily driven into the surface with minimum effort. Means when we want to drive a nail inside a wall or inside an surface, we must have to decrease its area so that it can go easily into the surface. So these were the applications where we decrease area to increase pressure. This was the explanation of pressure. Next is liquid pressure. What is liquid pressure? See, in this container I have drawn a container and there is a liquid in that container, and consider a point inside a liquid. This point exert equal pressure in all directions. Any point inside the liquid exert pressure in all directions. This is called liquid pressure, or it is also defined as the pressure exerted by a stationary liquid kept in a container at any point inside the liquid, known as hydrostatic pressure or liquid pressure. Means the pressure exerted by a stationary liquid is called liquid pressure. This container contains liquid in it, and this liquid's exerting pressure on the walls of the container as well as bottom of the container. So pressure exerted by this liquid is called liquid pressure. Now see an activity. I have taken a pipe. This is a pipe and a rubber balloon stretched over one end. And when we pour water into the pipe, what happens? The rubber balloon bulges out. And when more water is poured into it, the bulge will be increased. So from this activity, what we infer? Now read the activity. A pipe of diameter is taken, diameter 6 cm is taken, and a rubber balloon is stretched on one end of the pipe. Now hold the pipe vertically or vertical position as shown in figure. Now pour some water in the pipe. We observe that the balloon which was stretched at the end of the pipe is bulged out. When water is poured into the pipe, what happens? The balloon bulges out. And when we pour more water on the pipe, that is when amount of water is increased, we see that bulging is increasing. More water column, put some more water in the pipe, the bulging of the balloon increases. It infers that as the water column rises, pressure exerted by the water increases. It means liquid pressure depends on the height of the liquid. This is an activity to show how liquid pressure depends on the height. At first, height is low, that is less water is there, so bulging of balloon is less. When water is increased, bulging will be more increased. Bulging increases more. Now, see some properties of liquid pressure. Properties of liquid pressure. There are certain properties of liquid pressure which I have noted down. I will explain one by one. The first is that liquid pressure depends upon the height of the liquid column. Second, liquid pressure does not depend upon the area of bottom of the container. Liquid pressure depends upon the density of the liquid. Liquid exert an equal pressure on the walls of the container. An external pressure applied on the liquid in a closed container is uniformly transmitted throughout the liquid. These were the properties of liquid pressure. It depends only height of the liquid and density of the liquid. It does not depend on the area of the bottom, and a liquid exert equal pressure on the walls of the container. Now last topic is that atmospheric pressure. This is the last topic of this chapter, force and pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? We all know that there is air around us. It is the gravitational pull that holds the air around us, and it is called atmosphere. Means all above the surface of earth there is large amount of air, and this air is pulled by the earth gravitational pull. So the weight of this huge mass of air exert a pressure on all points and at all objects on the earth, and this pressure due to the air of atmosphere is called atmospheric pressure. Means the air above us exert a pressure on us, on each object and every point, on every point of the earth, and this pressure due to the mass of the air, due to the weight of the air, is called atmospheric pressure. And as we go high up in the sky, air pressure decreases. Atmospheric pressure decreases as we go higher up in the sky. This is called variation of atmospheric pressure with height. Remember that as we go higher, atmospheric pressure decreases because gravitational pull will be weaker. As we go higher, gravitational pull becomes weak, so atmospheric pressure decreases. So this is the atmospheric pressure. Now properties of atmospheric pressure. Importance of atmospheric pressure or properties of atmospheric pressure. We make use of atmospheric pressure in our day-to-day life while performing many simple tasks, and the task was given here. Means if there is no atmospheric pressure, the task will not be completed. So these tasks is performed only due to atmospheric pressure. What were the task is, see, when we drink liquid with a straw, the air pressure inside the liquid decreases due to sucking. Very good. Then the atmospheric pressure becomes greater and the inside pressure, atmospheric pressure will be greater than the inside pressure. So atmospheric pressure forces the liquid to move up inside the straw. Means the drink which comes in our mouth through straw is only with the help of atmospheric pressure. Second is, we sometimes use rubber sucker for installing hooks in a room. When we press the sucker, the air between the air sucker and the wall forced out. Hence the air pressing it on it from outside holds the sucker firmly against the wall. Rubber sucker is when placed on the wall. The air between wall and rubber sucker forced out, and it holds the wall. And when atmospheric pressure push the rubber sucker, it will not fall. So this is the examples. This is the properties of atmospheric pressure that we use in our day-to-day life. So this is the end of the video. You watch the explanation again if there is any confusion, and in next part of video I will bring the chapter human eye. Till then, stay tuned and study honestly.